Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, I'll be taking you through how to create directories, how to copy those directories, how to rename them, and so on and so forth. So please, if you are new to Linux and Ubuntu for that matter, this is the right video for you. So let's begin. Let me log in first. Okay, now that I'm logged in, so the first thing I'm going to do is start creating some directories. To create a directory, you use the mkdir command. Mkdir command. Mkdir. So mkdir. Then the name of the directories that I want to create. So this is going to be test one. Test one. Then I'm going to make another one. Call it test two. I'm using the up arrow key. Okay. So up arrow keys, it helps to make sure that it brings back the command you just executed. So if you want to easily go back to the last command that you executed, you just press up arrow key and press enter. That's how you do it. Okay. So now we have two directories. Now let's create two files. Let's create a file inside the first directory, test one. Okay. So to create a file, use the command called touch. Tuch. Now inside test one folder. So to do that, just put that and then put the name of the file. So we call it. Let's call it file one. So that's how you create a file. You touch and then which folder, what's the path? You put the path of the directory and the name of the file after that. Okay. Now let's list ls the content of test one. Test one. You see, we have file one inside of it, so that means that it worked as we wanted it to. So now we're going to copy the content of file of test one into test two and call it file two. Okay. So to do that, we use the copy command cp, then test one / file one, then space. Okay. Then the destination. The destination we want it to be what? Test two. Test two. Then / and the renaming is just type what name you want it to be called, file two, like that. You press enter. So copy test one, that's the file one, copy file one inside test one folder to test two folder and rename it and call it what? File two. Okay, that is the whole logic. Okay, so now let's list. So list ls and the content of test two folder. So test test two / and you see that we have the file has been renamed, called what? File two, and it's inside what? Test two. Now we're going to go create another file called file three. Okay, so how do you create a file? Through the absolute path. Now, so to do that, we need to find out where we are right now. So we are currently at pwd at home directory in that order. Okay, so let's say I want to create a file inside test1. Okay, let's say I want to create a file inside test1 folder using the absolute path. So for example, this is important, especially if you are not in the working directory. Right now, if I say list ls, see, I'm currently aware at home and anasnajo. That's where I am right now. But I could be in a different directory, but I still want to create a file and put it in my home directory using my absolute path. So on such cases, you just have to type what? Touch, then space, then what? Home. You start with what? Backslash, then what? Home, then what? Anasnajo, as you can see on the top. Anasnajo, then I'm going to put in the what? The name of the folder that I want to put the file inside. So in this case, it's going to be test2. Okay, let me put it test1. So, and I'm going to create a file. The file that I want to create, or the name, is going to be file3. So this will call creating a file using what? The absolute path. Okay, creating the file using the absolute path. Now, the other method, for example, this method of creating a file, is called what? A relative path, because it's the file is created on our working directory. Okay, so that's why it's called what? A relative path. But absolute path is the complete path, like this, the complete path: home, the name and of the user, and then what? The test folder, and then the file. Okay, that is how you do that. So now let's view. So I'm going to list on that directory ls. You see, I have file1 and now what? File3. Perfect. Now let's move the files. How do you move files? You move files using the what? The mv command. So to move a file, let's say we want to move file1 inside test1 folder to test2 folder. Okay, we just do that by saying that mv, then the source. Where's the source? The source is test1 inside file, and then the file name for file1. So we're moving it. Okay, and then where's the destination? You space the destination is going to be test2 / and file2. So in this case, we're moving the file and we are what? Renaming it. Okay, we're moving the file and we are what? Renaming it at the same time. Instead of file1, it will be what? File2. So now we can check on, let's list. So ls test1 / So it's only file3. Just before, a few minutes ago, you saw that they were what? File1 and file3. And now, because we moved that one, it's no longer there. So let's move file3 as well. So file3, and let's say if we don't want to rename it, we just move it. This is the destination we want it to go. Easy as that. So we're going to go back and now let's check on list the content of test2. So we have file2 and what? File3. Now let's check. Let's list the content of file test1. And see, it's empty now because we move all the files. So now that's how you use what? The move command. I just realized that my screen was not capturing all the commands I was issuing. But I just want to go over them with you again one more time. So as you can see, what we did was we created a directory using mkdir, and the name of the directory was test1. Okay, we created another one called test2. So we created a file called file1 and put it inside test1 folder. Okay, and to do that, just use the command touch. Okay, then we listed the content of test1 and we saw that the file1 was in there. Then we copied and renamed at the same time. So we copied the content of file test1 directory because there was only file1 in there. We copied it to what? Test2 folder and renamed it as what? File2. Now we listed the content and then we saw the file2 was in there. Okay. Then I took you through what we call relative and absolute path. Relative path is the path that you're currently working on. Absolute path is the complete file path. That is including the home, the user, and then the directory, and then the file name. Okay, so I did that, and I just took you through moving files. Using the what mv command. So to move a file, you just specify the command move mv, and then the source. The source is the folder that you copy the file and the file name. Okay, and then the destination is the destination of the file folder, destination folder, and the file name. Okay, and we just did that, and we just finished with that process as well. Okay, so now it's time for us to remove or delete what we have done. Okay, so first of all, let's find out where we are at. So pwd, we are in the last Ninja's home directory. So inside here we have a folders called test1 and test2. Now to remove a folder is what? Remove rm, then what? dir, then the name of the folder. In this case, let's say test1. You just press enter, boom, it's deleted. Just like that. Now, how do you remove a directory that has content? So it's going to be rm, then what? -r. This will force to remove the whatever that delete the folder and the content, all of them together. So test2 has content in it. So if we just do, for example, if I say remove dir and then what? Test2. And then you press enter, you're going to see that it said that what? Failed to remove test2. Directory not empty. That is what I'm talking about. So to remove a directory with content in it, so what you have to do is you use the rm command, rm-r, and then what? Test2. And you see that it will be what? Deleted. So that's how you remove content. File with content. Okay. So on that note, our video has been completed. So we just finished all our objectives. So now we learn how to use what? The list command, the mkdir command to make directories. We know how to create files and folders and sub-files, subdirectories, and put the files in the folders using the copy or move command, and even rename them as well. So I would say that we've learned so much with this particular video. Please let me know specifically what you liked about the video and what you did and what I can do to improve the content. I will see you in the next episode.